We will defy them.
This is why, honest. This is why we have three branches of government. By the way, okay,
Exactly.
Checks and balances. This is why. So everything that's happening right now is a great example of why we have three branches of government. The founding fathers, brilliant.
Oh my gosh,
brilliant.
Can't
but
make this
you see
up
this happening.
in
That's
DC.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez,
Ocasio-Cortez.
Maxine Waters, sounding very insurrection-y, if you will.
Insurrection-y.
Insurrection-y.
Good word.
It's a verb. Yeah, it's a pronoun.
Brought to you by the Democrats.
Right. Brought to you by the Democratic Party. That, of course, following yesterday's historic ruling at the Supreme Court. And can you imagine? I mean, just that is an elected official doing that.
Well, it's not the first time for Maxine Waters,
No,
right?
no.
And so she's
old hat
well
for
known
her.
for that. Go after the Trump supporters. It's just another,
It's true.
repeat of what she said in the past. So, of course, where's the Department of Justice on this? Well, we're bringing former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker to discuss. Matthew, it's great to see you.
Good to be with you.
Well, it's not just members of Congress. I mean, I want you to take a listen to how President Biden reacted to the ruling.
It was three justices named by one president, Donald Trump, who were the core of today's decision to upend the scales of justice and eliminate a fundamental right for women in this country. Make no mistake, this decision is a culmination of a deliberate effort over decades to upset the balance of our law.
Matthew, it seems he's also casting doubts on the legitimacy of the court. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. First of all, President Trump's having a rally about 30 miles from my parents' hometown of Keokuk, Iowa, so I'm excited that he's in that neck of the woods. Joe Biden, obviously, even though he spent a long time in the U.S. Senate and he was 8 years as vice president, now he's president, still doesn't understand our constitutional balance. And it's a shame that he doesn't understand that, the rights that are guaranteed in the Constitution are enumerated. And if they are not enumerated, they're reserved to the states and to the people. And that's exactly what this opinion sets forth. He seems to think that somehow those of us that believe in a conservative legal philosophy that says that the court can only interpret the Constitution so far and that the power resides and the people are sovereign is the most important thing that the Constitution protects.
Yeah.
But, this is what the left wants. They want the courts to act like super legislatures and do things that they want to accomplish, but they never want to restore the constitutional balance that should be appropriate. And that's what the Dobbs opinion did.
Mr. Attorney General, you brought up a good point. It's the court's job to interpret the law, not write it. Do you agree that Roe was a legal mistake when it was initially written in 1973?
Absolutely, Rob. That's a good point. Everyone, including legal scholars on the left and even Justice Ginsburg, believed that Roe v. Wade was poorly reasoned and could not be ultimately defended on its merits because it found a right really out of the air. It did not follow the traditions and the way that the court should have reasoned this. And ultimately, and the interesting thing as this has developed in the Dobbs opinion is Alito points out that neither side in Roe argued for the trimester setup. And, so that's where I think a lot of this and a lot of people that have studied Roe knew that this day was coming. And ultimately, I just have to encourage my fellow citizens and my fellow Americans to trust the people. This is one of those things where, the states can have different regulations. The states can have different policies. It is not always a one-size-fits-all program that is pushed down from Washington, D.C. or the Supreme Court.
Matthew, I'm just curious, obviously a lot of emotion yesterday on both sides, a lot of reaction. I mean, now that the decision is out, do you think we're ever going to find out the identity of the leaker? I mean, there has to be some kind of accountability at some point.
Yeah, I do think we're ultimately going to find the leaker. And because my understanding is that Chief Roberts is asking for people's cell phones and their, email records, and they are getting to the bottom of it. They already may know who the leaker was. It's obvious that it was somebody that wanted to, start these protests early and sort of hope that they could put political pressure on these Supreme Court justices.
Didn't work,
they
though, did it?
obviously didn't.
Yeah. Do you think the judges felt emboldened because of the pressure, because of what Amy Coney Barrett, Brett Kavanaugh in particular, he's got 2 young daughters, what they had to go through? Do you think the court felt emboldened to say no? The decision that was leaked 55 days ago, 5-4, was accurate. By the way, it wasn't just 3 Trump-appointed justices. There were 2 others. It was a 5-4 decision. Do you think they felt emboldened to say, no, we're going to stand by the leaked decision?
I do, and I also think that Judge Roberts obviously voted with the outcome, so it really is a 6-3 outcome. But yeah, I think that that this political violence or threats of political violence are not going to cow the Supreme Court justices nor anyone that is involved in public service. So we all do this for our fellow citizens and ultimately to advance our vision of ordered liberty.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what President Trump has to say about this coming up in about half an hour. Matthew Whitaker, always great to see you. Thanks for taking time on this Saturday.
Thank you for the time. Have a good night.
Thank you.